Now right-click the cell A3, then point to Summarize Values By in the shortcut menu. The shortcut menu shows the sum function is selected by the default. Now click the average. The data area in the pivot table shows the average sales for each product by branch and quarter. And cell A3 now contains average of sales. Now you want to view the pivot table without the subtotals. Click the Pivot Table Tools Design tab. Then click Subtotals button in the Layout group. And then click Do Not Show Subtotals. After reviewing the data, you decided if it would be much useful to sum the values of the sales information, then to average it. You also want to redisplay the subtotals. Now right-click the cell A3, point to Sum Values By, and then in the shortcut menu, click the value sum. Excel recalculates the pivot table, in this case summing the sales data instead of averaging it. Now click the Subtotals button in the Layout group. And then click Show All Subtotals at the top of the group. Just as Excel tables have styles that let you quickly format them, pivot tables have a gallery of styles to choose from. You decide to add a pivot style to the table to improve its appearance. Now click More button. Which is in the pivot tables style gallery, and then click Pivot Style Light 20. To further improve the appearance of the pivot table, you will remove the unnecessary headers of the column labels and row labels. Now click the Pivot Table Tools Analysis tab. In the Analyze tab, then click the Field Headers button in the Show group. The data would be more readable if it were a currency format. So click any sales value in the pivot table. Now click the field settings and then click the number format in the values field setting dialog box, and then select currency in the category list. Make sure that the decimal places is 2 and that the symbol is $. Then click OK and OK again, and then compare your pivot table. Now you decide to give the pivot table sheet a more descriptive name. When you name a pivot table sheet, it is best to avoid using spaces in the name. If a pivot table name contains a space, you must put a single quotes around the name if you refer to it in a function. Now rename sheet 1 as a pivot table. Here already it's renamed. And add your name to the worksheet footer. And then save your workbook. Now save your workbook and preview your sheet.